If you are looking to make some fast and easy money in GTA Online for this week without really relying on random players or wasting hours on a bunch of complicated heist setups and things of the like, then you're in the right place, because today Rockstar just dropped several money bonuses for this week that are perfect for solo players and even casual grinders alike. So whether you're used to running and mixing and matching several different businesses in this game, or you just want to stack some air freight cargo as well, today's solo money making guide for this week will walk you through all of the best ways to take advantage of the weekly update bonuses for money making opportunities, and I'll also give you guys some best practices and strategies on how I personally approach content to make it as optimized as possible, because I personally have a speedrunner mindset when it comes to games, and so when it comes to money making in GTA Online, I really like to be as fast and efficient as possible while I play the game. First, before we get through with all the money bonus opportunities, let's check out the new Safeguard deliveries, where we need to visit the nearby Group 6 depot to begin securely transporting high-value goods. Now, this is some new content that released this week. You can find the icon on the map right here. I've yet to do when I'm jumping in. Of course, I'm recording this Thursday morning on June the 26th, but I'm leaving for a wedding tonight, so this video you're seeing, is a day later. I'll already be traveling. So this is kind of my first impressions, but we're going to include it in today's money guide just because it'll be pretty decent. And also you can just make some extra money with this. Anyway, it makes sense for the money guide because the weekly challenge this week is completing 3 of these Safeguard deliveries to be rewarded with the hands-on car wash overalls plus $200,000 as well. So let's jump in. Let's head into the depot. We need to begin transporting high-value goods. And I'm sure we're just going to be driving this stockade around, either driving it ourselves, sitting in the passenger seat, and defending ourselves against waves and a total onslaught of enemies. But successfully completing 5 of these will unlock a bonus reward as well. And I saw a YouTube comment saying if you got 5 of these done, you got the Defender outfit, I'm pretty sure. So deliver the counterfeit goods to the drop-off. We need to drive 3.45 miles. We'll get a $17,500 payout. But we need to just do these missions 3 times and we'll get the $200,000 weekly challenge bonus as well. It doesn't mention about multiple drop-off points or anything like that, so I guess we'll just time-lapse all the way over there and get this delivery done. Oh, and also you can see right there, don't crash, otherwise you lose some value on your counterfeit goods you're delivering there. And there you go. The game pops up and says high-value goods are fragile. The buyer will offer a reduced payment if the goods are damaged. So be careful not to crash. I'm sure if enemies are going to be shooting at you too on the way, you'll lose money from that because the truck will get damaged. Hopefully not, but we'll see what happens. So there you go. It says, caution, potential combatants closing in. I haven't seen any enemies spawn just yet, but hopefully we don't run into too big of a problem. I mean, I hope it's not just like 1 or 2 waves of enemies coming after us. I hope it's like a bunch. You can see it's 2 cars. Oh, they're on bikes. Okay, so you could literally just shoot them off of the bike. They're just gonna fall over, and that's it. Oh, one guy in his car, actually. But he's kind of getting stuck in traffic behind us. Oh, he's coming up kind of quick. Nope, never mind. We just shot him out. We're good. He's taking the exit too. See ya, buddy. Some more enemies chasing us. I guess the van can get hit without the goods being damaged because these guys are shooting us in the back of the van and nothing's really happening. So that's good to know. It's just, I guess, if you crash the actual stockade into vehicles, that's when you'll lose some of the value of the counterfeit goods you're delivering. Here we are. We're coming up on the drop-off. Hopefully this is the end and we don't need to go to another actual location. I think this is going to be it, though. But this is just some extra legal ways to make money in GTA. Of course, we also got the Quickie Farm, which is something, I just got the livery for the Sentinel GTS. That was it. And I also got the trade price. I'm not really going to bother with Quickie Farm stuff. Again, same with like taxi work and pizza deliveries, or even these, unless they're on money bonus. But $17,480 for the delivery, $20 in damage. Do 3 of these, you get $200,000 for the weekly bonus. That's worth it. So I need to get done with another 2 of these. And if we do 5, we'll get that Defender outfit, which I don't know what it looks like personally. If I can find a screenshot of it while I edit and go through the edit, then I will put that on the screen for you guys so we can check it out and see what it looks like. First, let's start off with not necessarily a straight money bonus, but it is a very helpful bonus for this entire week, especially if you're going to actively be playing GTA Online. And even if you're not, you could still take advantage of this. It'll just require a bunch of booting up the game to take advantage of it. So you can see we have Rooster here. The hangars, first of all, are 30% off, both the Mackenzie Field hangar as well as like a normal aircraft hangar. If you have a normal one, you can source air freight cargo. And of course, with the air freight cargo business, you can make millions and millions of dollars per sale. If you own the Higgins helicopter tour business, you also get an additional 10% on your air freight cargo that you're selling now. That stacks in addition to the, permanent triple money buff we got a couple years ago with the Drug Wars update, and that also stacks in addition to that 50% that you get for the max high demand bonus in a public lobby if you decide to sell in a public lobby. But if you don't want to source air freight cargo with the land or air source missions and sell, you can passively source through your hangar warehouse tech, who functions the exact same way as a special cargo warehouse tech, where you pay them. In the case of special cargo, it's $7,500. You pay Rooster $25,000. He'll go out and source you 1 crate, but sometimes he'll source you 2 or even 3 crates. This week, he is guaranteed to give you 2 crates. So you will only have to do 25 sources through him, and you can fill up your 50 crates. Now, albeit you can't choose the cargo type, it is random. But for a player who doesn't actually source and sell air freight cargo, or at least source manually, instead of making $0 with your hangar business, you can still make some money completely passively, because this guy is going to do all the sourcing for you. So line that up with your daily or your hourly grind, where you go and visit all your CEO cargo warehouses. We'll also set your spawn location to your hangar, stop by the hangar once every hour, and have Rooster source 2 crates for you. Sometimes he'll still even bring back 3, just this week he's guaranteed to bring back at a minimum 2. So throughout this entire video, we're going to talk about other money-making opportunities, but this one is something that you could do while you're doing everything else to make even more money on top of everything that we already have on offer this week. And here's an example. Speak to Rooster McCraw, 25,000, boom, he'll go out and fetch me 2 crates now. Only takes 48 minutes. I can come back 48 minutes later, and I can do it again. All right, first things first, let's tend to our Higgins helicopter tour business. Now, I believe every single one of my businesses right now are at 100%, because while I was making the weekly update money guide, or excuse me, the normal weekly update guide, I was just sitting in game, so all these businesses maxed out. We need to do a helicopter tour to lower our heat, so let's just slam that out real fast so that we could start doing some actual money laundering operations. Of course, I don't think I need to really showcase this whole thing. I think you guys know how it works. You just pick up the patrons, you fly them around. The one tip I have for you guys with these missions are, you don't actually need to slow down for these tourists to take photos. All you actually need to do is fly into the general area, and then you'll see, like, you know, the objective marker basically turn into... What is going on with my oppressor? It's like totally bugged. What the heck was that? You just need to fly into the general area, and then you can focus on the landmark. The tourists will take the photo. You can just fly right through at full speed. They'll take the photo, and you can move on to the next. You don't need to, like, sit and hover or anything like that. So I'm gonna go pick up these guys. Let's just slam this out real fast. I'll probably just speed this part up with a time lapse, and then I'll let you know on the time after on how long it takes, just in case you're curious. Because while the helicopter mission is probably my least favorite out of, you know, the grass deliveries, because you can just blow up the van after delivering one of those to expedite the mission, just to reduce the heat. Same with the car wash. You could speed it up just by simply driving there and positioning the car at a weird angle, so that way you could skip the actual car washing cutscene. This one, you need to go through the whole tourist thing and flying these guys around so they could take their little tourist photographs. But nonetheless, it'll still only take you, you know, 4, maybe 5 minutes if you get the up north location. So let's just speed this part up and get it done. Now, actually, also, this is something that I saw someone mention in the comments. I've yet to test it out for myself. I don't think it'll really work on this building, but if one of these tourists get really close to the heli rotors and they get chopped up by the tail one, they'll die, and instead of you failing, it'll actually count as completed. I mean, they'll die, but the heat will actually be reduced on your business. I've yet to try that out yet, but if that ever works, you can let me know in the comments if it does. That would be hilarious. And here is the last landmark. So we're only 5 minutes into this recording, which means the mission was about 4 minutes, because as you guys know, I was sitting there talking before I actually picked up the helicopter. And that's it. You can just fly through each landmark, focus on it. The tourist will take the photograph as long as you focus on the landmark in time. You don't need to hover in the circle until they take the photograph. It's all automated after that point. So let's just fly these guys back. In total, this whole thing will take us, you know, I guess the recording will be 6 minutes, but the actual mission is going to be only 5, which is only a minute or so more than taking a car to the car wash, depending on which location of the car you actually get. So while it does take longer, and that could be players' argument for not running this business because they find it the least entertaining, this is the one that's on double money this week. So you're going to unfortunately have to take part in some of these heat reduction missions and helicopter tours if you want to make double money from these missions. Welcome back. We've touched down, and there we go. Let's just drop them off. Let's fly away. You can't just ditch the heli after having them take one photograph either. I tried that. If you crash the heli and die and everyone dies because the heli blows up, it'll fail. So we got our 5K, but of course we're just doing that to reduce the heat. So let's get done with some of those actual money laundering missions now. All right, let's jump into some of the money laundering operations for our Higgins Helitours business. Since we do have a current heat level of 0%, we'll get started with one. I would say the longest mission that you have to do is the yacht protection one, which out of the variants that we have, that's probably my most favorite, even though it takes the longest because there's the most action. The other one that I really like is just following the smuggler boat and recovering the cash case. This one that we have, recovering the cargo, is my least favorite, just because you need to fly an annoying havoc around, grab 3 like crates of cargo that are hanging off of like cranes and they're stuck on highway overpasses and stuff, and then you need to fly around the map to deliver the cargo. This one takes the most amount of time. This is a very poor example of the money making opportunities, but I'll just get this one done and then we'll start another. That Havoc mission we just did took me about 5.5 minutes, which was, I guess, on the shorter side. The other times in the past, it took me like 6, maybe 6.5, but the delivery locations weren't like super far away from where I actually recovered the crates, so it wasn't awful. The yacht missions will take you about 6 minutes. This one, I mean, we're actually flying pretty far. I've actually never done this variant where we need to go all the way up here. Usually I just go south of the docks, or I need to go south of the LS River as well. Both of those locations for those crate missions or the case missions, like retrieving this cash, normally it doesn't take too long. With this one where we have to go all the way north, I actually don't know how long this is going to take, but let's just time it out. Either way though, when you're following the smuggler boat, the game will tell you don't alert the guy and you need to follow him super slowly. You can completely ignore that. Fly right there, just shoot at the guy so they, you know, completely get alerted to you. Then they'll start booking it and hightailing it to the enemies, because that's where your case of money spawns. So it'll speed up the mission greatly. I would not just waste time following the guy super slowly. Some tailing missions, you have to go slow and stay far away. With this one, it doesn't matter. It's inconsequential if you alert these guys or not. So let me just do a pass right over him, and let me just shoot my oppressor. There you go. It goes from tail the smugglers to chase them. You don't want to stick too close to them because they do shoot at you, but at least we'll get to the objective of our mission a lot faster. And again, I feel like this is the worst variant to showcase myself trying to save time, because while these guys are going faster on the boat now, this is the furthest location for this kind of variant of the mission. It kind of cancels itself out in my specific case, but if you're farming this all week, you'll see why you just want to make these guys drive the boat faster, as opposed to tailing them super slowly. And also, keep in mind, you're making $70,000 per one of these missions. If you have GTA Plus, you're making $140,000. I could just kill everyone with my oppressor as well, but again, I just like using normal guns, so that's exactly what we're gonna do. In fact, this time I'm gonna use the normal SMG, and we'll take everyone out. You can make $70,000 per mission with double money this week. If you have GTA Plus, you're making 4 times, so you're making $140,000. When these go back down to single money, which is what we had last week on them, while the car wash money laundering operations run double, you're making $35,000 per mission. So if you can get done, you know, at a 6-minute pace with these missions, you can get 10 done in an hour. That's $350,000 an hour normally, which is just under what you'd be making with the auto shop, for example, and about $100,000 an hour less than what you make with the garment factory. But with the double money this week, that's $700,000 per hour, which is, you know, really pretty good, honestly, if you're not doing the Kaio or Dr. Dre contracts or heists. And then if you have GTA Plus with $140,000 per mission, I mean, then you're making $1.4 million an hour, which is faster than Kaio and Dr. Dre, and that is definitely what players like to see. Now, for one of these guys, I mean, you could just take the railgun. The heli's already on fire anyway, but we have to take out one last smuggler. Again, when you're flying through here with your Sparrow or your oppressor, you could just blow everyone up. You don't need to worry about destroying the case or anything like that. That way you could just retrieve it as fast as possible. Like, if you're seriously trying to farm this for money and be as quick as possible, you're not going to approach the mission like I am. I'm just kind of doing this for live gameplay purposes, and also to keep myself entertained. It makes the game more fun if I run in on foot, stuff like that, because I do like to savor the gunfights in this game. And that's it. This mission is super fast and simple. We're 4 minutes in on my recording. I just need to fly back to the helicopter business. So even this super long variant is only going to take me like 5.5 minutes in total. It won't even take me the full 6. So the 6-minute pace is kind of generous, to be honest. Flying back to our helicopter business, and that's done. Yeah, 5.5 minutes on the recording, so the mission actually only took me about 5 minutes total. And there we go. That'll be $70,000 in my pocket right there, or at least it'll show up at the car wash. now that it's nighttime as well, I feel like this is the perfect opportunity to do some dispatch work for you guys, because dispatch work, Vincent's dispatch work, as long as you own a police car, you can get double money and double RP on this content for the rest of this week. So instead of the normal $25,000 payout with missions that only take you about 3 or 4 minutes, and now they have a 1-minute cooldown, they don't even have a 5-minute cooldown, you can make $50,000 per mission this week, which if you do 12 of those in an hour, call it, you know, the 1-minute cooldown plus 3 or 4 minutes for the mission, 5 minutes in total per dispatch work before you could start up another. You can actually get done with 12 of these per hour for $600,000, and you can mix and match that with some of the Higgins helicopter tour work if you want as well. So let's go start up one and get this mission done. Now remember, you need to own a police car to start dispatch work. You don't need to use the police car for the mission, so if you have to go really far, feel free to use a Sparrow. Feel free to use an Oppressor Mark II. Like for example, we have to go all the way to Paleto Bay to get this mission done. Honestly, for this one, I may just change into a new session and start again. I could fly there on my Sparrow, but with only a minute cooldown, I'm just going to switch lobbies and I'm going to start up another, just because I don't want to do this one in particular by flying all the way to Paleto Bay. Even though I do like the officer monitor mission, I don't want to go up to Paleto Bay. So let me just start another for you guys. But with a 1-minute cooldown, it's not that bad. You know, it's not like if you don't want to do the mission, you don't have to waste a ton of time. Yeah, it's not like the Higgins helicopter business or the Smoke on the Water grass dispensary or the car wash where there's 0 seconds cooldown. There's just no cooldown on that content at all. These missions used to have 5 minutes of cooldown, so if you wasted a mission, you know, you're just kind of crap out of luck for 5 minutes. But with this, I just have to give it now at least like 30 seconds. All right, let's start up another dispatch work. Hopefully they keep us in the city on this one. It is Obstruction of Justice, which is, I think, one of the newer ones that came out with the Agents of Sabotage DLC, because we did get more dispatch work with that update. I just forget which mission titles those were called. But we need to go over to Del Perro, so I'll see you guys there. Honestly, I love dispatch work on its own, too. It's going to be fun kind of mixing and matching this with the Higgins helicopter tour business, because probably what I'll do is like one full rotation and do a bunch of helicopter money laundering operations, then do a heat reduction for that, or just give it a couple minutes and do like, you know, 3, 4, 5 dispatch work, do it for like 30 minutes or an hour, switch back to the helicopter business, and just keep rotating those. But here we go. This is Obstruction of Justice. We need to rescue the informant. You know, if you're on an Oppressor or a Sparrow, you could fly right in here and just blow everyone up. But I'm going in here, guns a-blazing, with my M4 and my carbine or rifle Mark II. These missions are simple, they're easy to digest. You know, there's only, I mean, there's good action in all of these, but they don't take you that long. That's what I'm saying. Like, we've only been on this mission for a minute, and all we need to do is get this guy in the car and then drive him back to Vincent's lockup, and the mission's done. And we make $50,000 for that. So, like, yeah, can you do Cayo Perico for the 10,000th time to make more money in a shorter amount of time? Sure, you could do the Dr. Dre contract to make more money. But this is like super easy, brainless content. You could be an absolute giga shitter at this game and still make a ton of money super fast and easy with the dispatch work. I feel like I gotta bring that up every single weekly money guide I do, no matter what the bonuses are. Someone's gonna be like, Cayo's better. Yep, beep boop, Cayo Perico, go do Cayo Perico again, beep boop. Automatons, bro, I tell ya. All right, there we go. We've taken this guy back to Vincent's lockup, and the mission is done. Let's see that beautiful money, $50,000. The timer starts now for your 1-minute cooldown, and then you can get started with another. And with that out of the way, that is it for this week's money guide. Now, in addition to that, if you don't have any of the car wash or the Higgins helicopter tour businesses, then you could also do some of the junk energy skydives with the locations scattered across the map. All of these are paying out double money and double RP. The flight school flight lessons are also paying out double money and double RP this week. And for any players in the game who don't have any sort of business they actually like to play, if you want to make some extra money this week through an adversary mode, well, Juggernaut returns to the game for a limited time. Head to Rockstar created adversary mode, and then the Juggernaut playlist you could see here, that is also paying out double money and double RP. But that is it for this week's money guide. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you guys are brand new and you want to see more GTA Online content like this. Also, feel free to check me out over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, specifically twitch.tv/hazardoushdtv for daily GTA Online live streams. Of course, I'll be gone, of course, today on Thursday when I'm making this video, Friday, and then I'll be getting back late Saturday night. So the streams will be resumed on Sunday, and you can feel free to watch those for more money grinding live streams. Also, check out my YouTube shorts and TikToks for daily short form rapid fire tips, tricks, news, tutorials, guides, leaks, updates, and more. And with that being said, hopefully you all have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys in the next GTA Online video. Adios, amigos.